something.
We're back at this again.
We're doing it again.
Oh.
Who invited us?
It's my house, so I think I invited myself and you invited yourself.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think that's how that works.
Just came to the tavern and now here we are.
Yeah, we're just here wondering where the hell my meat is.
And the Scotch eggs.
And the Scotch eggs. You know, at some point we do have to get, like, legitimate sponsors.
Yes, a legitimate sponsor would be nice.
Like somebody that's willing to pay for our stupidity.
Oh, that may be a tough sell, but someone is out there.
I mean, people pay for our stupidity anyway.
They pay for it one way or another.
Oh my! I'm looking forward to hanging out and having some good times in the next year, man.
Absolutely, dude. Big things are popping in 2024.
It's gonna be ridiculous. 24 is going to be our year.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I sound like a Dallas fan.
You. How about them? How about them Rascals? It's their year for sure. We them Rascals.
We them Rascals.
Ooh, that's new merch right there.
New merch.
New merch. We them Rascals.
Yeah, I'm actually speaking of new merch. We are getting ready for it because I've got the artist working on our new little chibi guys that are there.
Oh yes.
And then out of that, I'm actually going to extract the faces and I'm going to build us some challenge coins.
I think we should.
And I think it'd be cool because then we carry those around and you know, maybe when somebody comes up and mentions us on at the festival, like hey, you guys, I follow you guys.
There you go.
You know, we give them a coin. I mean, dude, if you're brave enough to come out and find us, then you know you should get something for your troubles.
Yeah, not just a hard time.
Wait, what?
Wait. I mean, we wouldn't do.
I mean, I'm not buying Scotch eggs for everybody.
No,
It's a limited supply.
This
I'm
is
trying
true.
to be covetous of those.
Yeah, oh, very much so.
There's one of those eloquent words, covetous.
Covetous. That was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing today?
We're doing a show.
Oh, well, yeah. All right, court jester. Where are we at? At the Renaissance.
We love him though.
Oh, I do love him. He's actually got a show coming up here soon.
Actually, I think it's already started.
I think it's done.
Is it done already?
Yeah, it was at the end of November.
Oh, okay.
Like end of November, beginning of December.
So, like right now.
Yeah, like now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we should give him some shout outs or something.
We probably should do something.
Yeah, we'll throw it down in the comments.
Absolutely.
You know, that way if people want to come to my town, they can come and see him.
Oh, your town.
Well, I mean,
I see how it
you
is.
live up in Castle Rock.
I do.
I live down here in the Springs.
Yes.
Colorado Springs. Olympic City, if you will.
Olympic City. That's not what we call it.
Well, that's what it says on the frickin' sign when I'm driving up.
It is true.
I didn't realize this, but apparently Pueblo is called the Steel City.
Because things get stolen a lot?
I think it has more to do with there used to be a producer of steel.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Otherwise, that would be Denver, wouldn't it?
Oh, Denver.
Or Cripple Creek, because they steal your money.
Oh, they definitely steal your money in Cripple Creek.
But you know what my favorite town in all of Colorado is?
What's that?
Larkspur.
Why would that be?
Because I have a job there, man.
Wait, we have jobs?
Well, in the summertime.
Oh, yeah.
My big boy job is something else, and
Yeah.
it pays the bills, it keeps the lights on, you know, the tavern stays lit.
But it is not nearly as fun
No.
as our
I still-
Larkspurshire job.
I still get paid to mess with people, though.
This is true.
But I say a lot of bad news on my real job.
I think that just goes without saying.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess we should kick this off, huh?
You think so?
Yeah, I think it might be a good thing. Hello, friends!
Hello, friends!
I'm Rob.
I'm Keith.
And we are the Renaissance Rascals.
We are.
And today we are going to be talking about good fiction has friction. We're talking about those relationships that make a character more fun.
Yes.
That bring out the enjoyment for people who are going to watch you. That's just the way that it works.
Yeah, I mean, you know, because not everyone can be all friendly and happy and...
But you know, that's kind of a misnomer. Everybody thinks, oh, well, they got friction. They must hate each other. Dudes.
No, not at all.
Some of my best friends, we have friction when we start talking.
Oh, yeah.
And that's because we're, you know, very...
Passionate.
There you go.
That was a good word.
Voracious is the word I was looking for.
Voracious.
Voracious, yes. But we are very passionate in what we're discussing, so it does make sense for us to be able to discuss things.
Right.
But before we start getting into the craziness of the Renaissance Rascals, let's talk about today's sponsor, because we were just talking about sponsors.
We have a sponsor.
We do have a sponsor. We don't get paid, although there was a payment mentioned.
Oh, yes, there was a payment mentioned.
First off, let's talk about Tarvel's Trinkets. They're
Yes.
on Instagram. You can go to their Instagram site there. It is www.instagram.com // Tarvel's _trinkets. That's TARVELS _trinkets. TRINKETS. He is a maker of chainmail.
He does.
And jewelry.
Jewelry, chainmail, scale mail he
Scale mail.
does.
And
Necklaces,
soon to be,
pauldrons.
because this is where we talk about what he's offered us. I reached out to this gentleman because he's a good friend of ours.
Yes.
Lovely man that he is. He offered to make something for the podcast, and I told him, I said, I don't think we're at the point of giveaways just yet. And so he was kind of laughing. He says, no. I mean, like, for you guys that are involved in it, maybe you want something, maybe something for the wife, maybe something for the tiny violinist, or maybe even Keith. And I said, Keith wants a scale mail mankini.
Absolutely. I will rock it.
With some fur, then I can call you Wookie the Viking.
Yes, that is the start of my Wookiee. There we go.
But if you are looking for that finishing touch to your Renaissance garb, this is where you need to go. You want to walk around it, and actually, his scale mail is very lightweight.
Oh yeah, no, it's fantastic.
It's very beautiful.
It's all handmade. He does everything himself.
Yes, you can see. Look, there's a picture there, right there on the screen. He's actually that was at Santa Fe.
Yes.
And he was actually doing scale mail, ring mail there. So he was making chain mail there. But you can see he's got beautiful pieces for the ladies. For the men, you have armor, and I mean, I suppose you could wear some of these.
Oh yeah. I
pieces.
don't know if it's on there or not.
Which one?
He just came out with these new necklaces that are super cool.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. I don't think they're up on this one. But yeah, dude, they're dude. Everything I see of him, I'm just in awe because I know it's something that I couldn't do, but that doesn't diminish the fact that it's a beautiful piece, and
absolutely.
it's all handmade and unique too. So
yeah, handmade right here in Colorado.
Yeah.
So. And you can see some pictures of him testing out his armors and some of the things that he's crafted, and also read the reviews.
Yes, and there he is, right there.
There he is. And as a matter of fact, he was actually one of our guardsmen.
Yes, he was a cast.
Cast.
He was a cast member.
And so today we are talking about, and it's funny that we chose to have an armorer.
An armorer, right?
And we're talking about friction.
Sometimes life just finds a way.
It does. But, the reason why we talk about friction is because in order to flesh out your character, completely,
yes,
you have to know who your friends and who your foes are.
Yes, and then sometimes you have frenemies.
Yes.
Yeah, people in the middle ground.
I want an enemy with benefits.
Yes.
And I mean, by that I mean I'm currently at war with the Queen's Pantry.
Yes, we are. We are on a mission to liberate the Scotch eggs that they have there.
That is correct. That is one of the things that we must, and hopefully we don't lose our heads in that.
Yeah, I hope not.
It is the Queen's Pantry.
It is the Queen's Pantry. And Queen, if you're listening, we love you.
We love you.
Would love to get a hold of some of your Scotch eggs.
Yes. In bulk, if you would.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
But we're talking about friction. And when it comes to friction, the reason why is because you need to know how you're going to interact with other cast members, other patrons, other types of characters.
Yes.
Previously we were talking about, originally Keith said he did not like the mushroom people.
I never said I didn't like the mushroom people.
You said you didn't understand
them,
which
that's different.
It's the same thing.
No. I think they're weird, but I like them.
Okay, yes. I don't understand them.
I don't get them at all.
But we were talking about that, and so by that, I think Lord Robert takes the standpoint of they're an irritation, much like any fungus or mold in a castle would be.
Yes. Most so as my character goes, I mean, most people are irritations to me.
Thanks.
You know, not you because you're with me.
Okay.
But you know, like I said in a previous episode, I have to follow the rules of my station.
Yes.
So the way I interact with the nobility is not the way that I interact with the commoners. So it's a difference in, you know, the way you speak to them, the way you know, navigate around them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe you just walk by them.
Right.
But that goes into, you know, just a social aspect of I'm expected to
Right.
act and talk, walk a certain way because, you know, I'm of this nobility. And so that's where we have to go with that one.
Which consequently, you're also responsible for my behavior, which, sorry.
Yeah, I know, it's great.
But we're talking about perspectives. Keith had just mentioned about social perspectives or social dynamics, because as the hierarchy, as the peerage stands, Lord Robert Adelborn the Third, is the lowest in the nobility. So he has a higher standing than Yen Shang, but in the essence that he's still kind of middle management. That's the best way to say that.
Yes, by design.
By design. And there's nothing wrong with this. It's just we have to once again touch back on the hierarchy of things, because you need to know that a lot of these perspectives, especially when it comes to the social in the Renaissance age, lords and ladies were covetous of other lords and ladies.
Yes.
Because they wanted their fortunes.
You're always looking to move up your station. So
ooh, that sounds like, you know, that's a good curse. Up your station.
Up your station. Yeah, no, really, it is though. But yeah, they wanted to move up. So, you know, you're always looking at, oh, what do they have? What, you know, what can I get to get where they're at?
Now, historically, a lot of that was done through marriage.
Correct.
As our lovely jester would say, the traditional way.
The traditional marriage.
So
arranged,
or you know, but that's how a lot of the classes would try to increase their station by marrying above.
Correct.
Which is really funny because I'm a merchant. Now, remember, folks, when we were talking about the hierarchy of things, I'm not at the bottom, nor by any means am I at the top.
According to Prescott.
Yeah, well, that's because I was listed as a pirate.
I'm just saying.
Merchant. Mm-hmm. Merchants are when you look at the historical breakdown.
Yes.
Of
yeah, you should be at the
upper
lower class.
I should be in the middle
because you have property, you have ships.
Yep.
You have money.
I have trade. Actually, it's really funny because merchants were also classified in two different veins. You had your local merchants who brought things from within the same continent or within the same region. So one could be French and trade in England, and he's still considered local. Stupid, but local.
Yes.
And then there's guys like me, like Yen Shang, who is a global trader. I bring things that they could not readily get within local market.
Right.
So that would that actually puts me a station above the other merchants.
Correct.
So when it comes down to things, merchants are a little bit higher than tradesfolk, which would be your smiths, like Tarbles. Or your bakers.
Yep.
Which puts us above that is your commoners.
Right.
These are the people like the seamstresses,
the rat catchers,
and then there's the unskilled workers underneath them.
Right.
Which, you know, those are what's his name? Skidmark.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
That's he's
just worker. Basically fodder.
Yeah. But within the social thing, the social hierarchies, you gotta know who you have friction with. As I just said, I would have issue with a local trader, or they would have issue with me.
Yes.
Because Yen Shang would just be like, "Oh, these are cute little trinkets."
Mm-hmm.
Where that guy might be, he thinks he's so good because he has, you know, his silks, his spices, and his salt.
Yeah. Oh, he has 3 ships. Oh.
Yeah, I have 3 ships. Just saying. Don't get mad at me. Uncle gave me 3 ships, and we set sail.
Fantastic.
One of them had to be repaired very, very, very drastically.
Yes.
Stupid Spaniards. But there you go. And that goes into the next one, which is political. Political, we're not talking like, current democracy. We're actually discussing one kingdom to another. So it would be England and Spain, or England and Ireland, or England and pretty much everybody else.
Yes.
Yen Sheng has issue with the Spanish because of the occupation that is currently, and this is 1500s, time frame, the occupation of what will become the Philippines.
Right.
Which means they blockaded the whole area off and staunched trade.
Yeah, and I mean, even political leanings played a big role in things, because the more land you own, the more sway you held.
Yes.
So you want people on your side that owned a lot of land.
Yes.
Because they own a lot of land, that's generally, they have a lot of people that live on that land that pay the taxes to them, so it's...
Which it even gets funnier when you start looking at the historical nature of it, because the nobility had the land.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay? Now the merchants had the goods and the money.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the Templars,
yep.
With their first banking system, this is where this really started to come into play, because the merchant class caused an upheaval during the Renaissance. Because why would I listen to you, Lord Robert Adelborn III of Umbracinia? You have some rock, but you can't pay me. So there was a lot of politics that were going on in the background of that.
Right.
But that also goes into the next phase, which is economic. You had mentioned, you have more land, which generally land meant more money.
Yes.
In this case, and this is funny because neither one of us designed it to be this way, but you have land, I am a merchant, I have money.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that one song, you got the looks, I got the brains, let's make lots of money.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure which one is which.
I mean, I have an idea, but we'll keep going.
This man is trying to say he's prettier than me. So, and then finally, you've got your trades and your skills. And the reason why this is another place for friction is because you have to remember, during the Renaissance, guilds were a huge thing.
Oh, yeah.
And so trade secrets, guild secrets, were something that people would die for, especially in Venice.
Yes.
And
those Venetians.
Is it me, or is every Italian that we have on cast named Giovanni?
Yeah, but one's a Venetian, one's a Florentine.
Florentinian.
Yes.
Which one's which?
So Salzano is the Venetian.
Yes.
Medici's the Florentine.
Medici is, and he is historically adjacent to the Medici family.
Yes.
So
yes,
traders,
he
merchants.
is a baker. A banker.
I was going to say, if he's a baker, how come we... Anyway, so these are areas that you can explore to cause to build your friction with other characters.
Yeah.
This last season, I don't recall any friction being displayed by Lord Robert.
No. Once again, by design, just because it was my first year as that character.
And he's new to the court.
He's new to the court. So I really haven't developed any friction. Now,
well, because you're trying to make friends.
I'm trying to be friendly with everyone.
Yes.
So, yes, of course. Oh, we're going to do... Okay, I'll do this. Okay, I'll do... This upcoming year, yes, I may build some friction into the character just to have that extra little piece that I can go...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Most likely it'll be Lord Surrey. I love him though. Love him.
He's a great guy.
He's a great guy. But
he's a great guy.
He's a fantastic person to have interactions with. And so I know if I build some sort of friction between him and I, it'll go over rather well.
And you'll have a lot. You'll have a lot to play off of.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially because when we have him on, he's going to teach us about the yes and.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about improv and how
Uh-huh.
your seed idea can change and morph and become something different. But it's really funny to me because now I know a little bit about the basis of his character because I had a discussion with him at length.
Right.
When I was finally caught up with him, or when he finally caught up with me and discussed Yen Shang, because the actual Lord Suri historically was a marshal, was a general basically.
Yeah.
He was very warrior-like, which is hilarious to me because now we've got Lord Robert Adelborn III, who is also of the same vein.
Yeah.
And historically speaking, the two of you would have friction because you are vying against each other's armies.
Exactly.
So it makes plausible sense.
Yeah.
Logical sense, if you will.
And it's always something, you kind of play off that to, oh, you used to be a warrior, and now look at you. You're in gold lame.
Look at you while you sit on court.
What happened to you in your cushion? I mean, anything like, so that's kind of why I picked him as well.
You put the sword down for a lance.
Yes.
Yeah. A pointy stick.
A bag of coins.
Yes. So, but that leads into it because what are the things that those perspectives, if you will, can lead into? Well, I've got these listed in my brain on the screen also as from most dangerous to like the least.
Yeah.
So first, you got your grudges, and I'm not talking like oh, that dude's wearing the same armor piece that I'm wearing. I'm talking like this is you sir have brought dishonor to my family with your words.
Yes.
Almost on the verge of dueling, if you will.
Right.
If we were Italian, that would.
So
exactly.
you'd have to look at grudges like the English against the French, the
everyone against the Spanish.
Everyone against the Spanish.
Right.
Even though we have a Spanish ambassador, but that's okay. But no, I mean, for me, anyone French, I'm automatically going to have a grudge against them because we're invading you.
Yes.
So
or vice versa.
Why are you here? Yeah, exactly. Why are you here?
Yes.
Why are you in my presence?
Right.
So automatically, how dare you
exist, sir?
How dare you breathe the same air as I?
Yes.
So like the guy with the musketeer, instantly it was just like, oh, he's French. So, and a lot of it also, not at CRF, but this past season when we went down to Santa Fe.
Yes.
So obviously I was Rufus the Bone Fairy.
Right.
My grudge was with humans.
Of course.
So every time that I left the fairy village, and I walked up the hill, and every person I passed, I'm like, oh, it's another human. Oh, they stink. Oh my God. How can do you not smell yours? And I just made fun of them.
Right.
Because they're irritating to me.
Right.
And so it was just a grudge that I had against humans.
Right.
So it was just built in that I could just belittle them,
and
in a funny way, nothing
speaking
inappropriate.
Of that, like you've got your classical grudges within cinema, television, and literature, where Peter Pan and Captain Hook. That is one of the most renowned grudges that you're ever going to find out there because they go
Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry. Oh, that's a good reference. I like that.
Yeah, sorry.
But you have these grudges that, without these grudges, the characters would be static.
Yeah, they would lack appeal.
Yes.
Why would I root for one over the other?
Right. Why do I care if Captain Hook kills Peter Pan?
Yeah.
I wouldn't, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Or why do I care that this cat eats this mouse?
Mm-hmm.
Never mind the fact that the mouse beats the crap out of it all the time. But then we have disagreements. And disagreements, it's not like, oh, I hate you. It's not automatically that way. When you put it in perspective of like the Renaissance, at a festival, you could sit there and I have a disagreement with a merchant about a price on something. I feel that I'm not getting a fair price. You know, I'm only charging, Yen Sheng is only charging Lord Adelborn X for these spices, where I'm charging Lord Surrey 3 times the amount.
As well you should.
Well, of course.
And also, if you look at disagreements with the time period that we're talking about, you know, Tudor England 1500s, is the biggest disagreement you're going to have is not political, it's going to be church related, because they're changing from Catholicism to Protestantism.
Yep.
So that's built-in disagreement
absolutely.
there. You know,
absolutely. It's tough to play that in the sense of your character at a festival.
Correct.
Because remember, guys, you know, if you're going on as a cast member, you have about 60 seconds.
Right.
And
but it's something that if you see someone dressed up as a monk or a friar, or you know, you can instantly switch to the other side and go, oh, look at them.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Didn't we do away with that? I thought we're Protestant now.
Right.
You know,
I thought the king has, you know, selected a different church. Or something.
Yeah. Why are you? Once again, why are you here? Why are you in my face? We're not even Catholic anymore.
Right.
You know. So so it's just, but it's not anything. Now, obviously, wars were started over religion, but in this small context of, you know, a family-friendly fair, it just gives you a little bit that you can, you know, talk to someone about.
Although, if you did want to wage a war against someone, you could always go and wage a war at the veggie bocce.
Veggie bocce, yes.
That's the best way to do war at the festival.
Absolutely.
Or you can have a Scotch egg eating contest.
Yes, I will take on all challengers.
Oh my gosh. And then you've got your spats and your slights, and your spats and your slights are just real quick tiffs. Like a sting that is gone after a few moments have passed. Typically, this could be within the same social class. Remember that this is very important.
Yes.
Because one cannot slight the king and it be considered harmless.
No. The king can slight you.
And you are supposed to take it.
And you take it on the chin.
Yes.
So these, when I think of slights, I think of people who are not far removed from one another.
Right.
But just due to the social climate, that they put more influence on themselves.
Sure.
So, you know, it would be like someone at the top of like an innkeeper. Okay.
Yep.
They've got a business. They are making money. They're, you know, well-to-do in the community, but they're not. They're just an innkeeper.
Right.
But they look at the rat catcher, and they go, "Oh, stinky rat catcher."
Well, they're necessary,
but they're not.
Yeah.
They're not that far removed.
No, they're
when
not.
you really look at it, they're both common folk.
Right.
But one is just thinking that, well, I do a service by keeping all the rats out of your bar.
Yes, but
out of your tavern.
But I own the tavern.
But I own the tavern. I'm better. I dress better than you.
Yes.
And dress is a lot. Dress is a lot of as we talked about in the
presentation,
in the costuming.
Yes.
Presentation's a lot.
Yep.
You know, so the innkeeper, because they have money, they can afford better clothing.
Yes.
Rather than the rat catchers probably not making a lot of money and just wearing whatever. So it's just those little slights, you know.
Little things that happen. And again, the key there is they're little.
Yes.
It's not a something that, if you were to try to portray any of these things actually in character, in the laneways or however you want to do that, you'd be really, really hard pressed to kind of separate those.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about how you do that here in a second, okay? Right now, let's talk about you don't always have to have that friction with other people.
Correct.
You could have that friction within your own character.
Yes.
You know, classic example. I was raised by a good, strong Catholic mother.
Yes.
Because we're Irish, you know. Oh, sorry, I did do the accent. I was raised by my mother. Sorry. My mom was a very strong Catholic woman.
Aye, that she was.
But me pa was...
We need the Princess Ireland
I know,
here.
right?
We're screwing this up.
Me pa
Sorry.
was Protestant. You know,
He started it. I did not.
Yeah, whatever. But the beliefs there could be a conflict because that's two different influences on your life.
Yeah.
Which it's not just that. Maybe you're portraying a soldier returned from battle.
Right.
At maybe it was Agincourt that you were at, and the event has caused a struggle in your mind because now you're like, oh, the French aren't so bad. They do fight honorably. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
That's why they got slaughtered. Anyway, that is like an idea of an event that would cause an internal struggle to your character.
Right.
And then finally the upbringing. Maybe your parents were upper commoners, and they always taught you that if you don't own anything, then you're not a good person.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you fall in love with a fishmonger.
Yeah.
And your parents are like, I can't believe that.
And we love the fishmonger,
We
by the
do.
way.
She's amazing. She has a wonderful voice.
Yes.
But that is where those sources of friction internally can come from. There's just a few. There's a bunch of others. But ideally, when you're building your character and you are hunting the and then,
Yeah.
what you are looking for is a moment where you can have a paradigm shift happen within the character.
Ooh, that's a good word.
It is. And to break that down into more rascally words, a paradigm shift happens when you look at things from a different perspective than
Right.
what you originally thought. And it changes your thought processes, because now your understanding has grown and your reasoning originally that was small is a little bit more diminished.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Which that kind of the reason that I like my character so much is because he's kind of the, for lack of a better term, the fish out of water character at the moment. He came from this warrior, background, and now all of a sudden he's expected to be noble. It's like, wait a minute, it's a learning process.
It's not.
It's
not far off though. Because
how do I do this? Because he wasn't supposed to be this. It was his father and then his brother, and then all of a sudden, okay, now you're noble, you're a baron, you got to go do this court thing with all these rich people that you have nothing in common with. It's like, wait, what?
I would even posit to you that the character would have been raised with the idea that the expectation was there. You're just reluctant about becoming what your father was.
Right. And that's the thing, it's like his father, but then my older brother, so when my father died, it's supposed to be him. Well then,
you're that petulant child that was supposed to be, but
yeah,
you didn't want to be because you wanted to spend time out in the fields playing with swords and battling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, got it.
So now it's okay. Now you got to go. You have to put all that aside. That's not who you, now you have all these people who are depending on you, and you have to run you have to run the land.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, what?
But see, and that
so
right there,
that's my internal
yes.
Okay, so that's once again, I just go in. I'm very friendly. I'm not making waves. My first year here, so I'm just gonna be cool.
We're good, right? Please don't fire me.
Yeah.
Catching dead eyes.
Yeah, well, I love you.
But that is a great example of it, because that's one of those things where, as the reluctant noble.
Yeah, I have to fight against what my nature is.
Right.
To try to go, okay, I have people that depend on me, so I can't screw this up.
I can't shirk responsibility just because I'm not comfortable.
Yeah, and responsibility and tradition is very important, in this time frame.
So let's talk about how does that look when you're trying to show that?
Well, if it's me, it looks good. Oh, we weren't talking about that.
No.
Oh, sorry.
We're actually talking about how do we as actors show this conflict or this change?
So You can do a few different things. You know, one, the easiest way is how do you act? You know, what are, you know, like we have up on the screen, gestures. You know,
and we're not talking like the Italians talking with their hands.
No,
it's not just limited to that.
No. You know, it could be a whole bunch of different things.
Sure.
Even if you don't have, you know, like friction, like what am I trying to say? So for me, for like bowing,
right?
Okay, like everything for me is very deep. It's a very deep bow,
right?
You know, because I'm showing, as you have friction, maybe that bow is a little bit.
It's not as crisp.
It's not as crisp. Like, so for next year, you know, when I bow, it was like this year, you know, bow to everyone, you know, showing my deference. Next year, when I bow to Lord Surrey, it's more of a Lord Surrey, you know, and you have that kind of condescending, my lord, you know, that kind of thing.
Yes, my lord.
Yes, my lord. You know, because his station is above me.
Right.
You know, so I'm still showing that respect, but not not the way he would want me to.
Right.
Which is now gonna in turn, he's gonna look at me and go, "What is wrong with this dude?" You know.
Well.
And so now we're gonna have an interaction of.
And eventually, it could be I must put this one in his place.
Correct.
So it looks like we're going to the headsman.
Right, which could happen. You know.
So. You just hit the second point there, the tone.
Oh, of course.
Tone of the voice, you know, like if you are trying to show that, and I always, whenever I'm describing this to somebody, I always think about when you know, when you were raising your kids, or, you know, when you were a kid, you know, your parents told you, clean up your room. All right.
Yeah.
There's the gesture of the eyes rolling, and then there's the tone, usually followed up like by a quick backhand, or in the case of my mother, a shoe flying through the air that goes around the corner. Yeah.
You had one of those, huh?
Yeah. Mom's lethally accurate with those things, man.
Gotcha.
And then you've got your word choice, especially when it comes to, like we had just highlighted. You know, I'm gonna have to put this one in its place.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's the word choices, or, you know, sometimes it could be within the same social cast. If we were talking among the soldiers, you know, it could be, "I will thong you, sir."
Yeah.
You know, I will inflict bodily harm upon you. You know.
Oh yeah.
And it may not come to fruition that way, but the words are there.
Oh yeah. Well, like we talked in the hierarchy episode, what you call people also.
Yes.
So the one way to get is, for instance, the Duke of Larkspurshire.
Oh yes, I called him my lord.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So instead of his grace,
yes,
your grace, you call him my lord. That's instant sign of disrespect. So the word choice there, to get under his skin, would be like, "Yeah, yes, my lord." Now, you know as well as I do, you experienced it firsthand. As judgmental dad face.
As a character, he's gonna look at you with the eyebrow raised and the judgmental look that he does so well.
There will be smolder.
And it is a lot of smolder.
It's a lot of smolder.
Like you can see the heat building up in the eyes, ready to burn through you. But as a player, he looks at you. I understand you're new.
Yeah.
You know, which, dude, as a person, that sucks even more.
But I mean, if we were really, you know, in that time.
Oh, dude, he could have had me beat right then.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
Oh,
he could have went.
That show of disrespect alone.
Yep.
Not bowing to him.
Yes.
You know, as you should.
Yes.
Because that was so.
What he's referring to is my first weekend. My first weekend.
Please tell the story.
I caused a bit of an upheaval because I was not bowing to anyone. Well, first off, I'm a rookie, guys. It was my first year. Second, the characters from Cathay, the Middle Kingdom, China. So his perspective was, I'm better than all of these people here.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I'm friends with this idiot is because I need him. So if he bows to someone, well then he's bowing to them. That must mean that they're less than me too.
Right.
Because, and so it led to some words at first, and it was rather interesting because the first couple of days, well, the first day I did it on purpose. The second day I completely spaced it, dude. Like, and so it did beggar a conversation from the casting director of, well, okay, dude, you had your fun.
Yeah.
Now I need you to do what you're supposed to do, and I'm like, oh, okay, but the string of chaos that it caused was Professor Loquacious ended up having to run around and explain to people, no, don't kill him. He is not from this land, and his what did he say to him? It's not his fault that he doesn't know. And then the Marquis says, well, then we should punish the noble that he's with.
Yes. He dragged me into...
Well, that's what you get.
Yeah.
So, and again, it wasn't meant as a slight. It was actually me playing the character the first day. The second day it was, I'm still being cheeky, and then I got told, okay, cut it out.
Yeah, no more cheeky.
And okay, cool, I'm not going to be cheeky anymore. So I played along the way that I fell in line with what I was supposed to.
Yeah.
Now, it is rather entertaining because if you see play trends that are walking about, some of them, the more popular ones that everybody loves, they will bow every time the king comes around, or where a more notable noble comes walking around, they will bow there. But it's really funny, and as we're talking about this, it brings me laughter. Because not a single one of them samurai bowed to anybody except for me.
Yeah. Well, they didn't know.
Well, they knew enough.
They knew enough.
They knew enough to bow to me.
No, and it's good that you bring that up, because as I walk around, I see people who are dressed better than me.
Yes.
And so I give them, oh my lord,
the courtesies.
Yes. There few of them I know.
Right.
So of course I bow, but then I give them a big hug because I love them.
Well, yeah, especially our favorite couple that's going to come back and join us here.
Yes. I love them.
Yes.
So I show them just because I know them in real life.
That's respect as a player.
Yeah. But there's other people that I see that walk around that I go, okay, they're dressed better than me.
What was that one couple that we saw that was just in, like, they were gorgeous. It was they had yellow, purple, and white. You remember which ones I'm talking about?
Yes.
They were just like very, very. She was very regal looking.
Yeah, and I just went, okay, I should do something.
Right.
And so my load, and on the way they went, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's. I try to give people, even though I don't have to.
Right.
I try to give people some modicum of respect.
Well, as a person, they deserve that, and I mean, I like to believe it's because you're showing them the respect that they went through the effort to come the way that they did.
Exactly. And so I'll walk by people, and even cast members that are on the commoner lower side of things.
Oh yeah.
I'll give them oh my lady tip a little tip of the hat kind of thing.
Although it would be hilarious if you started walking around fishmonger.
But as my station, I should.
Yes.
I should go fishmonger. What stinks? And walk by. But I'm not going to do that.
I think you should.
Maybe to
oh, dude, it'll lead to so many good bits.
It will.
What stinks, Salzano?
It could. I mean, he is Venetian.
I kick him around a lot, but I love the dude. He's a great guy, man. I just it's funny to me because it's in all of the groups that you ever see, there is always that guy, but that really does pan into what we're talking about here, because that is Yen Sheng's way of showing that friction.
Yeah.
His words.
Yeah.
I can't kill him because Lord Robert won't let me.
Yeah.
He told me I'm supposed to be nice. I don't know why. Okay, you're safe for now. But anyway.
Yeah.
a lot of that is that word choice. Now,
yeah.
there are certain people that, as a character, I don't like. We've discussed this at length with my hatred for the Spanish.
Yes.
I avoid dealing with the Spanish ambassador.
Yeah.
I just outright avoid him. If I see him, I will walk the other way. He has actually caught me in character and said to me, "Why do you always walk the other way?" And I very quickly turn and walk away.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Well, wait a minute, I'm talking to you." And again, he avoids, but there's some times where you've got to stop, because that's a great time for a bit. So I'll take a few steps and I'll turn and I'll say, something along the lines of, "Your people do not know how to fight."
Yeah.
Or, your presence in the East is impeding my purpose.
Right.
So, but again, that's that conflict that we're talking about, that friction. With that, now what we've done is we've taken, if anybody is watching those interactions happen, we're actually, guys, we're playing this out for you as the patrons.
Absolutely.
And so when you play this out and you get little pieces, here's the beautiful thing. We don't do very rarely do you see the same thing happening over and over again, unless it's a scheduled
performance.
A scheduled performance. Yeah. For the most part, when you see me and Keith, dude, if you asked us 15 minutes later what we just did,
I couldn't tell you.
Probably not.
We
could tell you that we had fun.
we like to say we have pre-planned ideas.
I call them seedlings.
Yes. So we go, hey, I got an idea. All right, let's go. And we start with something, but where it generally ends is not.
Knows.
I couldn't go, oh yeah, it's going to end this way, because sometimes it does. Most of the time it doesn't. It'll take on a life of its own. So.
But that is the beauty of it, because now. When we talk about this, we need to make sure that you understand. Showing the friction, showing the conflict, great. Do not draw a weapon. Do not lay hands on anyone, please.
Oh yeah, no.
Unless
this is all acting.
Unless they are part of the pre-scripted event. Now, especially when it comes to violence. Okay, like if you're gonna do a stage fight. For the love of God, please make sure that you have practiced this ad nauseum.
Yeah. You'll never see us pull real steel.
No,
it'll never happen.
No, first off, it's illegal.
Yes,
actually, real world illegal.
It's illegal.
You can, the fine men and women out there, especially that dude that's built like a brick crap house.
Oh, that guy.
Oh, Chad. You can't miss him. He is
who coincidentally introduced us to the Scotch eggs.
Yes.
Thank you, Chad.
He's about 4 foot wide at the shoulders and about 6'4".
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude. That is not a guy that you want to have come and tell you that you need to go with him.
Yeah, no.
Because you drew your steel. Now, even with that said, okay, even if you're using a prop weapon, a foam weapon, a wood weapon, make sure that you are very conscious, as we discussed during our costume and weaponry episode. Make sure you're very conscious of who's around you.
Yes.
Because some people, they swing with reckless abandon.
Yes.
And you don't know what your duel partner is going to do unless you've practiced this. A lot of our cast members have gone through stage combat courses.
Yeah.
And even a couple of them are versed in the sword and with a lot of training behind them. In the case of Otto, he is actually a fencing instructor, so he knows a little bit more than your average person.
Yeah. I mean, I would venture to say, leave weapons out of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. It's never a good idea.
Stick with the gestures.
You don't know who's watching,
right,
and who may not understand that,
yes.
Hey, this is a planned script me and my buddy decided to do, and we pulled swords, and then all of a sudden somebody, you know what I'm saying? I just leave.
Well, and here's the other thing.
Leave the weapons alone.
You gotta know what your festival or your program allows.
Yeah. I mean, I would venture to say CRF, if you're pulling weapons and dueling and all this, it's not going to go over too well.
It's generally not like, okay, you can do it. I mean, I know that for sure, but I mean, there was the case of that one gentleman or that one person that drew the big circle in the wood chips.
Oh yeah, that guy.
You know,
he didn't like me very much.
He didn't like me very at all. They had wooden swords, and I was not very kind to him because I was on a mission and he was impeding my path.
Yes.
But if you are going to do these things, make sure that you are in the right. Okay. Make sure that it's okay. I know that down in Santa Fe, there is no weapon play whatsoever, not even play fighting.
Yeah.
So make sure that you check that out, because if you're going to do this, like I said, make sure you're doing the research. Make sure that you're doing these things. But it's far easier. Here's the greatest example of all time when in my mind for showing friction. Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Do you bite your thumb at me, sir? No, sir, I bite my thumb, but I do not bite my thumb at thee. That is a great interaction. There's a lot of tension there,
right,
if portrayed properly, because what we're talking about is we're on the verge of a duel. We go right to the line, and then we draw back.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to do it. Draw the line, step 2 line, and then draw back, because that's going to be far more impactful. And if you're a cast member and you do this, now everybody's like, ooh. And guess what?
What just happened?
Now they're going to want to follow you.
Uh-huh.
And it's going to be great, because now you have an audience that's willing to travel with you. Or they're going to tell their friends and their family, dude, you got to look for this guy.
Yeah.
Or this girl. Or this person. You know, look for these folks. So, and that's where that's at, you know. I mean, like, show the friction. Don't act on it.
Yeah. Words and actions are far more powerful than, hey, you, and then you say something, and then we draw swords and we start fighting. People are going to go, all right, what? It doesn't make sense for me.
No, especially, again, as we go back to the point of all of it. If you are a cast member at a festival, 60 seconds, kids. You got 60 seconds to prove your point, to get in and out.
Yeah.
You know, if you get there, if you captivate the audience, they may be willing to give you 10, 15 minutes. But that's like, you better be on your A game.
You're pushing it, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, get the people's attention.
Normally Keith and I are 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Because after that, it starts going to Beavis and Butthead radio, where we're just like,
pretty much, yeah. We have attention spans of squirrels, so you know we're good in the beginning, and then we just kind of tail off somewhere.
Yeah, about minute number 9.
Yeah, like, all right, we gotta go. So
just make sure that you guys, if you're gonna do your friction, build friction with a logical standpoint.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a great example of, well, why do you want to kill the king?
I would say if you're going to try to build friction, have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Oh yeah.
You know, plan that out.
Yeah.
You know, why do you have friction? How do you expect to get that friction across to not only the person you're talking to, but an audience?
Yep.
And where is this going to end? How
What's
are we
the end statement?
How are we going to resolve this?
If
there is a resolution, yeah. I mean, there doesn't have to be. But how are we going to get out of, we came into it, we got to get out of it.
Because as always, and then what?
And then, yeah.
And then what? You know, this is one of those instances where it's like, yes, and. Mm-hmm. Yes, and now I don't like you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Okay.
With what? Like
a codfish.
Yeah.
You know, have some fun with it. Be creative. Remember, you know, a wise man once said, only the ignorant resort to violence because they don't know the words.
Exactly.
So, and that wise man was not me.
No, we would never accuse you of being wise.
Dude, somebody told me I look like Confucius.
That's true. That was great. Okay, so if that doesn't describe friction, that was a burning friction.
I was gobsmacked, man. I don't care what anybody says.
Great. It was great. Horrible. Oh, I mean, from standing where I was, I was like, I dropped my jaw.
For you, it was hilarious, but for me, because I had nothing, dude, I had nothing prepared.
So for those that may not know the story, so we're standing just inside the front gate.
Yep.
And Rob and I we just filled up our water cups. We're getting ready to go on our next little adventure. And so we're standing there talking about where we're going to go. And this guy comes in the front gate, looks right at Rob and goes, "Hey, look, it's Confucius." And just kept walking.
I was so gobsmacked, guys.
And I was just like, wow.
I normally have a response for things.
Nothing.
This one just smacked me right between the forehead, and I was like, oh.
I'm actually surprised we didn't go find him.
What was I going to say to the dude? Yeah, you got me that time, but you know what? I still don't know what to say.
Yeah, no, it was just great because I was like, wow, that was not okay. But yeah, that was definitely friction.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. Rob was salty for a little bit after that.
A couple of days, actually.
Yeah.
But it's friction is not necessarily a bad thing. It is a plot device to help you make your interactions with your castmates a lot more fun.
Right.
It's funny because I like I said, I pick on our Venetian mercenary, but that is because, well, I carry a single sword.
Yes, he carries like an armory.
Yes, which oftentimes Yen Sheng has said to Salzano, it's funny that you have to carry all of these things and you only know how to use one.
Right.
Where I carry one and I know how to use everything that is on my person.
Yeah.
But it also has to do with the theory behind Eastern thoughts on weapons and Western.
Exactly. Oh yeah, exactly.
Western philosophy. You've got a lot of like famous swords.
Oh, for
like
sure.
Excalibur and whatnot. In the East, there's no famous sword like that. There's famous sword makers.
Yes.
There's famous swordsmen, and a couple of swordswomen.
Yeah.
But that is the difference. The warrior makes the weapon.
Right.
So, and I use that as a plot device to poke at our friend Salzano. I've used that to poke at our friend Iron Bear and some of the other many people that we've come across. And we're not trying to be difficult. We're just trying to play along with you. And if you want to play with us, then come out and find us, man. Because this is the way that works.
We're not hard to find, really.
No, just look for the big hat, then you'll find him.
Pretty much.
Look for my hat, then you'll find him.
Yeah.
But the tricky thing is I've been told that I sneak up on people.
You do. You do.
I don't do this on purpose. I just kind of like, I'm where I need it.
It's just, that's the real world experience right there.
No, it is. It's their lack of, what is that, situational awareness and my just ability to exploit that.
Yeah.
But really what it is it is just a way for us to exercise. And I will tell you guys that something Keith taught me during this last season, and I'll always be eternally grateful for this, is do not shy away from any interaction. Take it and see where it leads you.
Yeah.
If you want to do something, talk with someone. It's always better to plan something with a partner than it is to try to make it happen with a patron. Because then you end up with Lucinda married to a monk.
Yeah. Still don't understand that one, but
you want to talk about friction? That's it right there.
That was definitely friction. No,
that marriage.
No,
period.
And thank you for that. But that just goes along with my mindset of I want to try to talk to as many people per day as I can.
Yep.
So if someone says something to me, we're gonna talk.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a quick, hey, like your outfit, or hey, where are the privies? But we try to have that interaction with as many people as we can, because I don't know what people are going to say.
Oh, no.
So there's been interactions where I've been like, ooh, this is cringe for sure.
Yeah, I got to get out of this.
I have to be about the king's business.
I don't like using that line.
I don't, but there's times where I'm like, that's the only thing in my head is I've got to get away.
Yes.
This is going south quickly.
I do want to point out one very, very big friction that exists at our festival in Colorado. And it's one of my favorite bits. And that is with the Lord Sheriff and Adam Bell.
Yes.
That is probably one of my favorite examples of friction.
Yes.
And it's gotten progressive throughout the season. It started off with, I'll get you next time, Robin, to I ended up paddling the sheriff because the king told me to.
Right.
So, and it's always heated words. You get your guys, I'll get my guys, we'll meet over there, and then it's closing time.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So, very rarely are you going to see, unless it's in the jousting pit, where there is, ample room where people can ensure safety.
Yeah.
Very rarely are you going to run into something where there's something like that going on. But, at all costs, please avoid the violence.
Yes, no violence.
I know I've had this argument with the giggling violinist, our giggling fiddler.
Giggling fiddler.
Arlen McNaughton, as I have tried to teach my daughter the way of the sword.
It's violins, not violence.
No, on occasion it has to be violence.
I think on occasion, yes, but mostly violence.
I'll concede to this. Maybe if it's only the French?
If it's French, for sure.
We're good.
That's always violence.
Okay.
I don't even think they have violence.
I think they do.
No, they don't.
Violins?
They're French.
They have violins.
No, they don't.
They do have violins.
Not after we break them.
No, they have. You're confusing the two. They don't have violence.
They try to be violent.
They attempt that.
Yes,
but they do have the violins.
All right, fine.
We'll ask Arlen next time we talk.
Absolutely.
Well, folks, we do appreciate you joining us. It's been an hour.
Of course it has.
It's crazy
because it goes by so fast.
It does, especially when we're talking about joining old friends.
Yes.
And sitting around the fire. Well, you're by the fire.
I'm by the fire. See, it's right.
I'm in the quarters.
There.
But we do want to thank our sponsor for today. That is Tarvel's Trinkets. You can visit them right there on Instagram. It's just Instagram.com, and then you're gonna look up Tarvel's_trinkets. Beautiful, beautiful chainmail, ring mail, scale mail. And he's also got some
jewelry.
Yeah, jewelry
things.
And stuff. There's a piece up there on the screen right now. Leaves.
Yes. Those leaf things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful.
I saw one that he did. It was a bug.
Yeah. He did bees.
Yeah.
It's like a little bee thing.
Like a little beetle type of thing.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, man, it was great hanging out with you guys. We'll
Absolutely.
see you guys next time.
And if you go to Tarvel's Trinkets and you mention that we sent you,
he might laugh.
He's gonna laugh, and you probably will get 0 discount. But it's worth the shout out.
The other thing that you could do is you could tell him that you really, 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 really want to see Wookiee the Viking come to life. So we need that mankini for Keith.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever gonna happen, my guy. Maybe we'll see.
I will.
We'll see what happens.
I am willing to trade a singular Scotch egg.
Oh, depends on how much mead that is involved in this.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot.
Well, once again, folks, I'm Rob.
I'm Keith.
And we are the Renaissance Rascals, and we thank you for tuning in.
Of course.
Make sure you share us.
Yes. I'd like to be shared.
Yes, I like to be. Whoa.
Okay. I mean, on
page.
Facebook.
Yes, on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you want to share the page. Share us. Get your friends and family to follow us, because I'll tell you what. We're crazy. We're stupid.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, please send it. We have an email, renaissancerascals@gmail.com.
Or you can just put it down in the video below.
Absolutely.
We check back every now and then.
We do.
And don't forget, we have one live episode every month, and everything else is going to be pre-recorded because we're lazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thanks. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye, friends.
Goodbye, friends.